And I said, your hands are always broken. You ain't known for your punching power since you moved up from lightweight to welterweight. Why are you so sure you're going to do this?
Wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight.
Floyd is the best fighter, in his era. And I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
Stephen A. Smith argued that today's boxing world tends to overhype some fighters while downplaying others. In his view, Terence Crawford deserves far more recognition for his skills and accomplishments. Smith emphasized that Floyd Mayweather is no longer in his prime, and therefore the narrative should shift toward Crawford's dominance and greatness rather than unnecessary comparisons.
Think about what he had to say about you when he said, you're way better than Floyd Money Mayweather. I know you heard that he said that. What thoughts came to your mind when you heard that Canelo Alvarez said that about you?
Hey, that's a big compliment. He's been in the ring with both of us, so he would know, from his own experience. A lot of people, they can say this, they can say that, but there's only, a few people that can say they've been in the ring with Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather and give their own.
Deshane Mosley compared the two fighters by pointing out that Crawford is naturally the bigger man. His size and strength give him an advantage that Mayweather never had at welterweight. However, Mosley also acknowledged that Floyd's technical sharpness, defensive mastery, and ring IQ consistently allowed him to overcome larger and stronger opponents. For Mosley, Crawford's dominance comes from his physical edge, while Mayweather's legacy was built on pure skill and adaptability.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually, he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Ariel Helwani. Crawford reminded fans that Canelo Alvarez's opinion carries special weight since he has shared the ring with both Mayweather and Crawford. Crawford highlighted the differences in context. Floyd faced a young, inexperienced Canelo, while he himself fought a seasoned champion at 168 pounds. Despite the size disadvantage, Crawford prevailed and proved his strength. Canelo even admitted that he felt more power from Crawford than from Mayweather, reinforcing the idea that greatness belongs to different eras.
It was cooking right there because there was this thought, this prevailing thought that the smaller man always loses to the bigger man. This was repeated time and again throughout the fight week. And he proved that that's not the case. Again, I hope you all recognize this was a 168-pounder fighting a 147-pounder. He had one fight at 154 last August, was the undisputed king at 147, beating Errol Spence in July of 2023. Came back the following year, fought Israel Madrimov at the soccer stadium in Los Angeles, and then did everything he could to get this fight, played his cards the right way, and there he was, standing face to face against Canelo Alvarez, who did seem for the longest time like he didn't want to take this fight, and because there was great risk involved, because not only is Terence Crawford one of the all-time best fighters in the history of the sport, he's smaller than him, so a lot of people would be like, oh, of course you're going to beat the smaller guy, right? But I think Canelo recognized, yeah, he might be smaller, but he's that damn good.
Trainer Greg Hackett offered a different perspective, stressing that Mayweather was a complete fighter when he faced Canelo. At that stage, Floyd's style was polished, disciplined, and nearly flawless, something Crawford's wilder, more aggressive approach doesn't fully match. Hackett explained that while Crawford thrives on explosive counters and adaptability, Mayweather's mastery lay in his ability to execute a perfect game plan from start to finish. To Hackett, Floyd's version of perfection remains unmatched.
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
And the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jeff?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you're in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look so great. To me, I could be wrong, but he didn't look so great to me because he was learning a lot about Madrimov while he was in there with Madrimov.
Max Kellerman analyzed how the two fighters approached their careers. He explained that after moving up from lightweight, Mayweather became extremely selective, ensuring that each opponent fit a carefully designed strategy. Crawford, on the other hand, has often faced whoever was available, appearing far more daring and risk-taking. Kellerman argued this contrast doesn't diminish Floyd's greatness, but it highlights Crawford's willingness to challenge himself across divisions and against dangerous opponents.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. That makes a difference to people.
Crawford himself confidently stated that if he fought a prime Mayweather, he believes he would win. He clarified that this wasn't meant as disrespect, but rather as belief in his own abilities. Crawford admires Floyd's skill set, but believes his own versatility, punching power, and ability to switch stances would make the difference. For him, this attitude is not about tearing down Floyd's legacy, but about embracing the competitive spirit that defines boxing greatness.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? That's one of my favorite fighters. But
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, reminded fans that Floyd was already past his prime when he fought Canelo. At that point, he was older, slower, and no longer as sharp as the version that dominated the latter divisions. Despite that, he still schooled Canelo with his experience and timing. Jeff argued that this fact is often overlooked in comparisons, stressing that Floyd was fading while Crawford remains near his peak, making direct comparisons unfair.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course.
Nobody had
and that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
To
make himself look like he did something great.
Stephen A. Smith also praised Crawford's victory over Canelo, calling it one of the most entertaining performances in recent years. He highlighted how Crawford, seen as the smaller and weaker man, completely outclassed a much larger opponent. For Smith, the fight not only showcased Crawford's incredible talent, but also his ability to deliver a spectacle for fans. He argued that boxing needs fighters like Crawford, who bring both skill and excitement to every performance.
70,482 people showed up for this fight. But the biggest props of the night goes to Terence Crawford, who did not disappoint. He was supposed to be the smaller man. He was supposed to be the weaker man. He was supposed to be the man that was going to spend the entire night on his bicycle, running for his damn life because Saul Canelo Alvarez was coming his way. That is not what happened. What happened instead, ladies and gentlemen, was a masterclass in boxing by Terence Crawford. Now, to me, the fight, some people were saying it was just severely lopsided and stuff like that. I'm not going for that. I'm not feeling that at all. It wasn't like that at all, okay? I had the fight 5-4 in favor of Terence Crawford after 9 rounds. It could have gone either way. And then he basically put on a boxing clinic over the last 3 rounds of the fight. And one rounds 10, 11, and 12. He used his jab. He kept his distance. He exchanged when necessary, which is something that I was scared to death of him doing, but he wasn't scared at all.
And another analyst pointed out that Floyd Mayweather built a larger global fan base thanks to his undefeated record and massive pay-per-view success. However, when it comes to pure talent, he suggested that Crawford might surpass him. As a natural southpaw who can seamlessly switch stances, Crawford's unpredictable style, timing, accuracy, and calmness in the ring make him a nightmare for opponents. In this sense, Crawford reminds fans of Mayweather but with his own unique twist.
Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ. And not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far. And I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.